Hey everybody, I'm Todd Adwar,
I'm Peter Goodman.
and welcome to Real Essentials. So, Pete, the other day, I had somebody and they sent me a contract and they asked me what I thought. And I said, well, I don't know. I'm not an attorney. And I thought of you because you're always telling me you're doing, 5-10 contracts a week. And in the busy times, you're doing 10 and 20 contracts a week. So let's talk about contracts today. Let's talk about the real estate contract because that's always that time where you've made your offer and now you're on pins and needles until it's signed, right? So what should they be looking for and what are some of the games that people are playing with these contracts?
So first of all, what people don't know, at least in New York, is that offer and acceptance, you mentioned offer actually does not occur until the seller sends the contracts over to the buyer and the buyer signs the contract. So you get a deal sheet from a real estate agent and you get a handshake, everyone says, oh yeah, I'll accept the offer. That's not an accepted offer until we sign contracts. So you have all these things that have to be done before that. And the first thing that's happening is, remember, the realtors aren't making money until we go into contract, until close, right? So they want to get in contract right away, especially if they represent the buyer, because they don't want someone else coming in over the weekend at an open house, making a higher offer, because they're out. Even if you do the home inspection beforehand, or if you do your home inspection already, the seller can still say, hey, I got a better offer going with them.
Yeah.
So that happens.
You see that all the time, right?
It happens all the time. And the other thing is, especially when the market is a little softer, people are always saying, oh, there's a higher offer. If you don't sign tomorrow, we're going to sign with a higher offer. I used to always freak out when I heard that, but now I realize that at 90% of the time, that's actually not true. What's happening is they just want you to
So they're playing poker with you.
They are. They really are. And you have no idea. You really don't know. So the best thing you can do if you're a buyer is to get into contract as quickly as possible, meaning get your home inspection done, get an attorney that specializes in real estate, have your mortgage person ready to go, have everyone ready to go so you can get into contract as quickly as possible. So if you find that house that you love, you don't want anyone else.
So what in the contract, because some attorneys are not as experienced, most of the attorneys are not as experienced as you. They use their uncle, figuring my uncle, the attorney, who's done one real estate transaction in 7 years, knows what he's doing, but he really doesn't.
The funny thing about that is that actually delays contracts significantly. We had a lot of people when the market was like 3%, everybody was buying houses. You had all these inexperienced attorneys going into contract, and we get these, if you're an experienced attorney, I see the same clauses over and over again. My contracts have similar clauses because it's like anything else. There's a system to it. But what would happen is we get these attorneys that didn't do any real estate, and all of a sudden you get these clauses that made absolutely no sense in the context of the deal, and then you'd be arguing with them, and the attorneys would say, that they were Googling the answer, and they'd be getting back to you, and it was just causing a delay. So
have you put anything into the contract where the seller has to be out by a certain date, or they start paying the buyer money?
Yeah, interesting. I just had a similar situation. Someone asked about that. It's very tough to do that because, in an all cash deal, you can get away with some of that, like a time of the essence closing, or traditionally banks will do that when the bank is selling the property as a REO, bank owned property.
Right.
But in a deal with a mortgage, the contract says that you have a certain time to get a mortgage, and we don't know how long that's going to be. We expect it to be 30 to 45 days, but it could be shorter, it could be longer. And there are other contingencies. Seller may be living in the house. Seller may still have to buy another property. Maybe be in contract to buy another property. So there are all sorts of contingencies. So the short answer is yes, we see that. Sometimes people demand it, more an all cash deal, but it's hard to negotiate that.
So let me tell you this, folks. I've been using Pete. We've been working together for many years. If you have a deal and it's taken you a long time to find a house, you want to use this guy because he's going to get you into contract in a day or two tops because he's not wasting time. And he's got somebody in his office available because he understands, just how important that speed is.
The difference between getting in the contract and losing the house.
Okay.
That's it. So we'll see you next time on Real Essentials.
Have a great day.